So today, as a follow-up to our review of Halloween, John Carpenter's Halloween, we decided to watch Rob Zombie's version of Halloween. So Connor, what are the key differences in the story of Halloween, Rob Zombie?
Well, Halloween more closely follows Michael Myers and adds like an hour of pointless backstory where he basically becomes the ultimate massacrer and kills a shit ton of people. And then after he basically massacres his family, he's put in a mental asylum where he massacres a bunch of people. Then he goes to a truck stop and massacres a bunch of people. And ultimately he starts stalking around Laurie Strode and her friends. He massacres Laurie Strode's friends. This is like the last hour of the movie, which is pretty much copies a lot of elements from the original movie. Films pretty similarly, except they pretty much pack the entire plot of the original Halloween into 15 minutes. And then Michael Myers gets in the most prolonged horror chase scene with Laurie ever. And then Laurie shoots Michael Myers in the head, and it ends on an ambiguous note. So Aiden, what did you think of Rob Zombie's own Halloween?
John Carpenter put it best. Rob Zombie only knows how to make one type of movie. It's a movie about hicks killing and raping each other in the woods. And this is no different. This is a Rob Zombie movie through and through. Michael Myers is some hick killing people in the woods. There's a couple rape scenes.
Harvey Weinstein did
A lot of extra boobies and blood over the original. Absolutely no subtlety. And the worst part is that this is essentially the last hour of this movie is basically a shot-for-shot remake of the first movie, condensed down to just the parts where people are getting killed.
Yep.
With a few fairly minor changes in the way things play out, and also they took that thing from the later Halloween movies where Laurie is Michael's sister.
Yeah, that became.
And they introduced that, which was stupid, but the entire first half of this movie is just like the young Michael Chronicles, where they go through Michael Myers' backstory, and they spend a lot of time trying to humanize him for some reason, even though it's really not necessary for his character.
Well, and then he becomes completely dehuman.
And it's really, really boring and dragged out, where the whole thing is just kid Michael Myers sitting in the thing. He's like, I don't like people, I wear the mask. And then Malcolm McDowell is like, you're a good kid, Michael. You can grow up to be someone who's not a serial killer. And then Danny Trejo is there. And Rob Zombie forces he put his iPod on shuffle for a half hour, and every song that came up, he got licensed for the movie. And the movie basically sucks. It's shot the same way as the Friday the 13th remake was, where it's got the blue light filter over everything. Really generic, super trashy writing, the kind that Rob Zombie normally does, where everyone's just swearing all the time, and they're like, I bet you jerk off in the bathroom, you fucking closeted homosexual faggot piece of shit. And then Laurie's just like generic teen girl, like no personality. Her friends are just generic teen girl. Yep. Michael Myers, they established to have some kind of personality, like you're supposed to feel something sympathetic for him, but then the last half of the movie he just kills people silently. And the detective guy, or not the detective guy, he's not a detective, but the mental asylum guy, Malcolm McDowell, just kind of uses Michael Myers for profit and then shoots him a bunch. And so yeah, it's basically like a generic piece of trash, and you could watch any Rob Zombie movie and get the same experience. So Connor, what did you think of the shitty Halloween remake?
I thought it was pretty shitty. First off, the first hour of this movie could have got cut. We don't need to see a Michael Myers origin. In fact, that lessens the Michael Myers character, because the original movie, he was the Shape. He was Michael Myers. He was just some guy killing people. Mental asylum guy. That's it. He could have broken out of the asylum. You could have even extended the backstory slightly. Maybe shown like a scene. Maybe like, I think John Carpenter's way of just showing him killing his sister and then breaking out of the mental hospital, boom, boom, 2 scenes, 10 minutes were in the plot of the movie, then we can actually establish the protagonist and the important characters. Our protagonist, quote unquote, doesn't show up till halfway through the movie. So Michael Myers is our protagonist. And Michael Myers is a sociopath who starts out and you kind of are supposed to feel for him, but you don't, because he's just murdering everybody. Then he keeps murdering everybody, and then in the last like 5 minutes, it's like, oh, he might have a heart still. You should kind of feel bad for him because he loves his sister. And then his sister gets scared because, you know,
Who wouldn't be?
who wouldn't be? And all he did was show the picture. She didn't know she was adopted in the entire movie. Not even at the end of the movie does she find this revelation out. So she's just like, who the fuck is this guy? Stabs him, and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna kill you. Then it's a prolonged chase scene. Obviously, this movie has awesome things, like millions of titties, because I'm 13 years old and I need to see that in every horror movie. Cool rape scenes. Rape scenes are always comfortable to sit through and definitely add to the film. You know,
Celebrity cameos
He
like
said-
Danny Trejo.
you know, yeah, the lack of subtlety.
80s music like Don't Fear the Reaper.
Well, and the music, going into the music, even though you're kind of just speeding me along, which I appreciate, going into the music, actually, the music selection was terrible in this movie. At least Rob Zombie didn't like force his own metal music into this movie. Yeah. But at least he didn't force his own like metal music into this movie. It was just like 80s songs, but it was just like a hodgepodge of random ass songs.
Halloween 2 is where he
Very
starts to do
few
some
of them
music
actually
shit.
related, and a lot of the times he started, it was like if you take the effectiveness of like Guardians of the Galaxy or Baby Driver with music, where they actually kind of like try to have it relate to the scene and like amp up and work, like this didn't. He didn't know how to do that. He just picked random ass songs, like when he. Like the part where he goes to like the mental hospital and it's playing that fucking song from the Swiffer commercial. What's that song called? Or like what's that song? I remember it was from a Swiffer commercial. It was like I want to
Love Hurts.
Love Hurts. Transformers 2007. That song was cliched in 2007.
It's cliche now.
Yeah, it definitely. Well, no, not really. No one uses it anymore because it's cheesy as fucking balls. But it was Love Hurts when he goes to the mental asylum. It's like this works in like a scene where like a romantic lead might have a problem romantically, but when a serial killer kid murders a bunch of people and then gets sent off to the mental asylum, Love Hurts is the only song you could think to put there. The music choices were fucking stupid. The kills were all just like Michael throws man against wall after he rapes someone. Michael throws TV on guy.
Like Michael didn't rape anyone.
Michael did not rape anybody.
So
I was saying the other person raped someone. He said,
Oh,
I said
yeah.
after he killed,
Yeah.
he killed the person who raped. And then the ones, the kills from the original movie, Rob's like, that's easy. We can just exactly copy them from
But
the
with
original.
more blood.
But with more blood and more swearing, because swearing makes a good movie. In the original franchise, we never saw Michael Myers' face, really. In the original movie, too. And this movie plastered his face all over. Obviously, it goes without saying this movie is fucking edgy. Another problem I had is Rob Zombie self-inserted himself as every male character. Kid Michael had long hair. Kid Michael in prison had long hair and for some reason was allowed to keep said long hair.
Alcoholic Dad. Malcolm
Alcoholic
McDowell in
Dad.
the first half.
Malcolm McDowell had long hair in the first half. All the teenage boys had long hair. Everyone had long hair. It was greasy. They were listening to metal music. He self-inserted himself in this movie really fucking hard. And it's just like hicks. Like, Jason's mom's a stripper, or fucking Michael Myers' mom's a stripper because we couldn't think of any other way to put tits in the first half of this movie. His motivations are little. I mean, yeah, he's a serial killer, so he doesn't need to have the deepest motivations, I guess. But something, you know, maybe add an ounce of humanity when it comes to him going against Laurie or against Danny Trejo. Like, they tried to humanize this character with the first hour. That's the only point of the first hour. Because the origin story doesn't matter. So the only reason you have that first hour is to humanize people. But
it's especially weird.
But can I finish my point? Then he goes on and he kills Danny Trejo without a second thought. Danny Trejo was established for the first 30 minutes to being friendly. Like Danny Trejo's
like the one person who was nice to him in his entire life.
He should still kill Danny Trejo to show he's crossed that line, but he doesn't show an ounce of hesitation. If he showed a little he just kills Danny Trejo. What's the point?
Doesn't even stop him. They build up this friendship.
Because Danny Trejo's being nice to him, showing him all this compassion. It's like, maybe it was to show how fucking metal he became or something, but it's like, that's fucking retarded. So the only person he refuses to kill is his mom and his little sister, until his little sister attacks him. And Michael, I guess, became so brain dead retarded, like Jason Voorhees, that he didn't even have half a brain to try to communicate what he was saying. He just showed the picture. And then he's hell-bent on fucking killing her. Like, it would be cool, too, maybe, they show Frankenstein footage. Frankenstein's the misunderstood monster. Granted, Michael Myers is hard to make the misunderstood monster, but at least to Laurie, he could be the misunderstood monster. Like, he wants to have a relationship with his sister, which obviously wouldn't work, but he's a monster, so he's misunderstood. And they kind of portrayed that with the picture getting lifted up and him being like, I don't know, I guess they were gonna live under the fucking house in the chained ass room. What was he gonna do? Kill her, but just say we're friends first, or what was plan B there? What was the idea?
What was plan A there?
What was plan A? But yeah, so they set up this vibe through the whole movie. Everyone's watching Frankenstein. He's nothing like Frankenstein. You tried, you fucking wasted an hour of my life setting him up to be a misunderstood character, but then you could not help yourself but every 5 minutes have him kill somebody. I felt no sympathy for Michael Myers. You see him as a kid, maybe, so that somehow is supposed to make him sympathetic, but Ted Bundy was a kid at one point. He was eating people. Columbine killers were basically kids when they were killing people.
Yeah.
So why do I give a fuck? This movie is fucking awful. Would you recommend this? Well, wait, and the shooting sucks, and Rob Zombie's a fucking hack, and the original movie's infinitely better because it understands something called character development. Anyway, Aiden,
and the 2007's dated horribly.
The 2007 one feels more dated than the original for some reason. They only use corded phones. They have lines like, the cell phone will give you brain cancer, which is a thing at that time period, which is just if it is, everyone in the world would have brain cancer.
It feels very 2007 when everyone's dressed like a fucking
everyone
Gap
has
ad.
MySpace ass haircuts.
Yeah, it's dated very badly.
I'm honestly shocked Lori wasn't checking her MySpace in a
But no, I wouldn't recommend this movie, obviously. If you like Rob Zombie, you're better off watching The Devil's Rejects or something that's actually unique but shitty rather than something good made shitty.
I can't even pretend to recommend Rob.
I'm not pretending to recommend it. I'm saying Rob Zombie has fans out there. They're retarded because they like Rob Zombie.
And they shop at Hot Topic. And they buy the new direct-to-DVD Chucky movies every year.
Gross. Anyway, would you recommend this thing?
No, I would not recommend this movie. I would not touch this movie within a 1,050-foot pole. This movie is so ungodly fucking shitty, it's unbelievable. And honestly, not only was the film boring, shittily shot, but it was just a waste of time. The original movie is so classic, I don't understand the point. And this isn't coming from... Yeah, and this isn't coming from somebody who is just such a fanboy of the original. Because I fucking hate every other movie in this franchise except the original.
Halloween 3.
Well, Season of the Witch is a different thing. I'm talking the Michael Myers franchise. That one was just an ill-conceived business move where that should have just been Season of the Witch, but regardless.
Yeah.
I actually do like Season of the Witch. I've only seen it a couple times.
I think Season of the Witch is fun.
I kind of want to
review Season of the Witch.
I wouldn't mind doing that, yeah.
Really bloody Goosebumps episode.
Yeah. Season of the Witch is a good idea. But anyways... The original is just so much better. This movie has no warrant. It's shot like a crappy music video from metal music video from 2007. but with the fucking soundtrack of now this is what
Kinda,
I call
you're
the 80s.
overcomplicating it. It's shot like a Rob Zombie movie.
It's shot like a Rob Zombie music video, which is also a Rob Zombie movie. They both fit in the same category. And there's no subtlety. It completely sucks. Watch the original Halloween this Halloween today.